Okay, so I've just finished bleeding the rear brake, which in some ways was just as much a nightmare as I thought it was going to be. Basically, I put the engine plate on, connected up the plunger to the actual brake pedal, and then what I did was, from previous experience, I did not connect the hose. I thought I would just check that I was getting fluid out of the brake reservoir first. So, I left it open, and sure enough, there was nothing coming out of the master cylinder. When I say, sorry, reservoir, I mean the master cylinder. Nothing coming out of the master cylinder. So I pumped and pumped and pumped on the brake pedal, nothing. So then, where have I put it? I've got a special tool. In fact, it's being cleaned at the moment, but I'll show you. Yeah. So this is a vacuum pump. So you put this on the bleed nipple, and it creates a vacuum, and it sucks the fluid through. Or in this case, I've got a rubber adapter, and that went on the end of the master cylinder here, where the hose normally goes, and so nothing at all. And so I left it overnight with the first of all, I couldn't even get the fluid to come down the tube from the brake reservoir, which in retrospect, I thought it was a bit strange. I had to keep pumping the hose and push the air out before it even got down to the master cylinder, which in retrospect was a clue to the problem. Anyway, I left it overnight, nothing. So in the end, I took it back off again, half off, and tried pumping the pedal. No. So then I had to take the whole thing off back again, undo the hose from the master cylinder, which actually undo the hose from the reservoir, which feeds the master cylinder, brake fluid everywhere. Took the whole thing off, and I realised that where the hose goes into the master cylinder, there's a little spigot, where the hose clips on at the back, and that spigot is blocked with old brake fluid. And even though I've got that vacuum pump, which is pretty, gives up quite a big vacuum, it wasn't enough to get through that blockage. So what I did, a small screwdriver, just poked it through there, put the whole thing back on, and it's just bled like a dream. If that hadn't been blocked, it would have bled first time straight away. I've not had any trouble bleeding it at all. The only thing is, the bleed nipple is sort of down the bottom here, but I've not had any trouble. I've got a nice, really firm brake pedal, and I think it's fine. I would recommend to the owner that he probably, tries just bleeding it again at the first service if any air's worked its way through. But it's great. But yeah, the main problem was the actual master cylinder inlet was blocked. Dear, so I've been round the houses with it. The only other thing I've got now is that this union here, where it goes into the caliper, I've discovered it's weeping slightly. So I've just tightened it right up. I tightened it up before, but it didn't cure the weep. So I've tightened it up, really tightened it up. So I'm hoping that'll cure it. If not, I'm going to have to take the pipe. I'm going to have to take the pipe off, get a socket on that, take it off, probably re-anneal that copper washer, sealing washer, by heating it up and cooling it down, and then putting it all back on again. But I'm hoping that it might have sealed now. I've done it up really tight, but we'll see. But anyway, the brake has bled, no problem at all. Now the master cylinder is unblocked. Firm brake pedal, so I'm happy. Okay, so normal kind of teething problems. So I've put in all the new rear brake, bled it, all great. And then, of course, I realised the master cylinder is leaking. The seals have gone inside the master cylinder. So I've ordered a new seal kit. So take the master cylinder apart, put the new seal kit in, put it back on, sorted. If only life was that simple. So the first thing you have to do is to take a master cylinder apart, is to undo this grub screw in the bottom of the master cylinder, which is a very small Allen key. and of course ours is completely lock solid. Now these are all my bags of Allen keys of all different sizes, many. The only one that I've got that will fit that grub screw is this one. Now you can see that's a very quite a small grub screw, and basically the grub screw, so quite a small Allen key, so the grub screw is absolutely seized in. I can't shift it. The problem being that this is a very small Allen key, and so what's happened is I've twisted the key. Come on, focus. There. Can you see that? Look, trying to undo that, I put so much pressure on it that I've just actually twisted the key, and that's the only key I've got, and it won't touch that. Well, actually, one of my other sort of posh keys does fit it, but I'm sure that I'll put that on and put a huge amount of effort onto it, and it's only going to break that. It's only going to break that key. So simple little thing like that, but I cannot shift that grub screw. I haven't got anything else, so in the scheme of things, we're just going to get a new master cylinder, which is a pain because it doesn't really need it. We just need to replace it, which I've already ordered, of course, all the kit. I'll see if I can send it back, all the new seals, but there we go. I just can't get it apart. The only thing to note really is you need to undo that grub screw, and then what I would do is I would then screw the master cylinder fully in to its housing, counting the number of turns, and then when I came to reassemble it, I'd screw it fully back in again and screw it back out, so it'd be exactly the same number of turns, because it needs to be at a certain point, I think past here, where the holes sort of open when before the pedal's pressed, and then it closes when you start pressing the pedal. If you get this cylinder in the wrong place, then either the hole sort of won't open at all, so there'll be no fluid in, or it won't shut, and when you push the brake pedal, instead of going out that way, the fluid will go back up into the main fluid reservoir. So that's what I would have done. I would have taken that grub screw out, screwed this in fully, count the number of turns, then taken it out, replace the seals, and then put it back in, screw it back in fully, and screw it back out, and same number of turns. But not going to be doing that. So I think it's, I'm afraid, a simple thing like that. I think the last thing I'll try, because I'm going to put a massive amount of heat on it, because the thing is, I'm worried about, I might have to take that off, I don't know. I'll try heating it anyway. That's the last thing I'll try, but that's my only Allen key, and there's not much of it left at the moment, so I'll give that as a go, but I'm not that optimistic. Oh well, there we go. Heat does the trick again. I put a massive amount of heat on it, so it's probably that's hot now, and I've managed to free the grub screw. So heat always your friend. I gave it a massive amount of heat. Might have damaged the paint a bit, but that's about it. But it saves us buying a whole new master cylinder. Okay, so I'll have to wait for it to cool down now, but I'll remove the grub screw, or at least loosen it right off, so that we'll be able to then unscrew the actual master cylinder out of the housing. Okay, never rains but it pours. So I've managed to get the grub screw out now, fine, but then of course I can't unscrew the main body of the cylinder out of the body. It's that itself is jammed in. So I'm now heating up the housing. I've removed the sort of plastic feed inlet pipe, obviously to stop that from melting off this, comes off this spigot here, and so I'm just heating the body up. So I'm trying to watch what I'm doing and film, and So I'm just thinking I either get the camera in the right place or the flame. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to heat this up and see if I can unscrew this body from the housing. Well, that was seized absolutely solid. It really was, but it has come out again with extreme heat. And what I've done is I've now screwed it in. There's like a cutaway which lines up with a grub screw. So I know I've screwed it in now fully, and it goes in. Well, let's see. It goes in 1 full turn, 2 full turns, and a little bit. So I know, put it down a little bit, 1 full turn out, 2 full turns out, and that's where I'll reset it. When I get this boiling, it's red hot this now. Ow! Oh, you can see it's turning at the bottom. Actually, yeah, it should be okay. Oh dear, right, okay, here we are. I've finally got everything apart on the rear brake master cylinder. It's been a right job. I haven't been able to get this rod out, but you don't need to take it out. There's nothing really in there, it just needs cleaning up in there. So that's been left. But this is the actual master cylinder, and these are all the seals in it.